And now, ladies and gentlemen, Chip Hobart.
WIXY Cleveland.
And now, a WIXY1260 special presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Chuck Hobart.
Would you believe Chip?
WIXY Cleveland.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Chip Hobart.
WIXY Cleveland.
It's Chip Hobart here, little girl, all for you on WIXY1260 online. Great one, the Syndicate of Sound. Hey, little girl.
The Syndicate of Sound opening up the first hour of the Chip Hobart Show. This is Ray King, and it is my honor and privilege to re-announce to WIXY1260 Chip Hobart, the return of Chip Hobart to WIXY. Chip, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you very much, Ray. I'm a legend in my own mind. Always have been, always will be.
All right. Okay, we are going to be going till 6 o'clock tonight on the Sunday Fun Day with Chip Hobart on the air again.
WIXY Weekend Jam.
A friendly stranger in the black sedan. Actually, I do have a black Subaru. I'll take you anywhere you want to go, but stay with WIXY1260 online. Oh, what a great song from Chicago's Ides of March, and we are in our vehicle here, WIXY1260 online. And hey, we ain't got nothing yet. Stick around.
Blues Magoos on WIXY1260 online. This is Ray King, along with Chip Hobart, former WIXY jock back in 1971. Came here from the Big 8, CKLW. It is 7 minutes past 3 o'clock on a rainy Sunday afternoon, 42 degrees in Cleveland, going down to 48 degrees tonight. And Chip, you began at WIXY in 1971. Tell us a little bit about how you got there and where you came from.
Well, I got here from CKLW in Detroit. Steve Hunter, and who was the guy that was on before me, Steve was on CK from 6 to 9, and I was on from 9 to midnight. But of course, there was the whole daylight savings time thing, so I was actually on 10 to 1, so it was crazy. I could get off the air at 1 o'clock and go over to Detroit go over to Detroit to have a soda, and it was still only at 12:30, so it was just a lot of fun being in that situation, and we just love WIXY1260 online, and I'm just so happy to be here. And of course, I came in for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction thing, and really enjoyed that last night. Had one of the best times of my life. And welcome to spring in Cleveland. Hi, Chip. You've come in from Vermont, where we have like tons of snow and cold weather. And hey,
Guess what?
Cleveland's no different.
Nope.
Oh, this is wonderful. Little darling, we got to go back to the 50s for the diamonds.
WIXY1260 Zipperoni Weekend.
Little darling, little darling. WIXY1260 online with the Flirtations. Oh, I love this song. At 3:12 at WIXY1260 online. Nothing but a heartache. 3:15 with Chip Hobart, better known as Chuck when I was at the Big 8, but I'm no longer Chuck. My real name is Timothy. How'd they get Chip out of that? Who knows? WIXY1260 online. I love this song. Grassroots. Some people are made of plastic, some people are made of wood, some people are made of lies, and some people are just plain no damn good. But what you see is what you get. Dramatic.
WIXY Weekend Radio.
My wife and I were lucky enough to see this man just before he died. The late, great Roy Orbison, one of the best voices in rock and roll of all time. Candyman, baby.
Come on, baby.
WIXY 1260.
This is WIXY 1260 Online. Ray King with a very special guest disc jockey today, Chip Hobart. So 6 o'clock tonight. Chip?
Oh, man, this is so much fun. I haven't done any radio in, the last 5 or 6 years or so. And it seems like I was here in Cleveland about 100 years ago, but it was really just 1971 when Steve Hunter and I came from CKLW in Detroit, Windsor. And we both were kind of traveling gypsies.
The golden year, 1967.
You know, the average radio station, terrestrial or other, plays maybe 500-600 songs tops. We're up to almost 5,000 songs. This is one of the great ones with Chip Hobart from WIXY1260 Online. I'm a soul man, baby. Dick.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to former WIXY1260 disc jockey Chip Hobart.
WIXY Cleveland.
3:30 in the House of Rock and Roll City. Oh, I'm telling you, I went to the Rock and Roll Museum the other day. What a great, great place. I highly recommend it. If you've never been there, get there. Spinners first. It's a shame. 1970 on WIXY1260 Online.
WIXY1260 Super Radio on the go-go.
It's Chip Hobart at WIXY1260 Online, and here comes my baby, the Tremolos. Love this song. WIXY1260 Online, the Tremolos, and here comes my baby. This one's going out for Keith, our own Keith, Kid Cleveland, who just posted our survey from October 71 with my picture on it. Here's some Fanny, baby.
Sunday Radio.
Chip Hobart here at 3:40 on WIXY1260 Online. And thanks to my daughter Lindsay for helping us drive from Vermont to Cleveland.
This is Ray King. You're in tune with WIXY 1260 Online. Today we're doing a very special Sunday afternoon show with Chip Hobart, who worked at the original WIXY 1260 AM back in late 1971, early 1972. It's 3:43 on a Sunday afternoon, and by the way, you can look at what we're doing and making fools of ourselves here in the studio. All you got to do is
Speak for yourself, Ray.
all you got to do is log on to our website at WIXY1260online.com. Go to the gallery page, hit that webcam tab, and you can see us on the webcam live.
The 60s. The best variety is on
WIXY.
She is about a mover. The Sir Douglas Quintet with Chip Hobart coming back to WIXY1260 from 1971.
1969.
I don't know, man. After this, with my earphones cranked this loud, I don't think I'm going to have any hearing left, but hey, who cares?
1961 was a very good year.
Oh, the king, greatest rock and roll singer of all time, Little Sister on WIXY1260.
Little sister, don't you?
WIXY1260.
I want to dedicate this one to my good friend John Lastman, who took me to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction last night. I love you, John. This one's just for you from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Rock and roll year of
1969.
Ooh, Tony Joe White. Poke Saturday Annie.
On WIXY1260 Super Radio.
I just love the messages in this song. Without love, where would you be right now? Great Doobie Brothers from WIXY1260 Online. Good afternoon, I'm Chip Hobart, just before 4 o'clock in the Rock and Roll City.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to former WIXY1260 disc jockey Chip Hobart on WIXY1260 Online.
WIXY.
Couple minutes after 4, and this is the only place you're ever going to hear Krabby Appleton and Go Back.
That is Krabby Appleton and Go Back at 4:05 WIXY Maximum Music Time. This is Rockin' Ray King with a very special Sunday show. We have got former WIXY DJ Chip Hobart, who came to WIXY in 1971 from the Big 8 CKLW, and we're going to have him on the air till 6 o'clock today. It's 41 degrees on the outside with thunderstorms going down to 48 tonight. Tomorrow, high of 48 with rain to snow showers. Look out. If you want to see what we're doing, check out our webcam. Log on our website at WIXY1260online.com, hit the gallery page, and then hit the webcam, and you can see Chip and I and doing our thing on a Sunday afternoon.
On WIXY 1260, 1963 was a very good year.
Love this song so much. Raindrops.
This is WIXY 1260 Online. Ray King, along with Chip Hobart, former WIXY jock, who's been on CKLW and WRKO, a lot of stations around the country. Chip is in town for yesterday's induction ceremony at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we just found out Chip actually broke John Bon Jovi. Chip, tell us about that.
Well, I was at a station in New York City, Ray. Thanks for asking. And I came in to Cleveland with my daughter Lindsay from Vermont. And I used to work at a station in New York City called WAPP. I'm popping my peas.
I noticed.
Yeah, right. No, we had a hometown album, which was part of the Miller High Life Rock to Riches competition. And we had a young guy and a friend of his come in and bring in a cassette of this song called Runaway. And I heard it and I thought, geez, that's an awful good song. I think we should make that side one, cut one of our hometown album project. And sure enough, we did. And John Bon Jovi won the national competition with this great song, Runaway, from 1983.
In 1982, I had written and recorded a bunch of songs, but one of them stood out. It's called Runaway. And after sending that cassette to every label, every manager I could think of, I thought, who is the loneliest man in the music business? The DJ. There was a new station in New York City called WAPP. It was so new that there wasn't even a receptionist, so I was able to walk in and get the attention of John Lastman and the DJ Chip Hobart. I told him about the song on the cassette and the frustration of not getting any label to listen to it. Well, Chip did listen, and he told me he thought it should be included on their homegrown record of local music. A few months later, Runaway was playing on the radio not only in New York, but in Tampa, in Chicago, in Detroit, in Denver, and in other markets. Now, I had all the attention I needed, but I needed to showcase the songs. What I needed was a band.
New York rocks, and John Bon Jovi has gone on, and the group have gone on to sell 130 million copies of this great song, Runaway. And we'll play it for you here on WIXY 1260 Online. This is Runaway from Bon Jovi.
WIXY Weekend Jam.
Oh, the George Baker. No, this is the. I'm looking ahead on the list. It's not fair. It's cheating. 13th floor elevators. Congratulations, Bon Jovi, on being inducted into the 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Runaway from New York Rocks, 1983. What a great song, and congratulations once again to Bon Jovi. And I just have to say, I love those guys, and I've been a big fan ever since I discovered them back in '83 on that hometown album project in New York City.
You're in with Go Go. WIXY 1260 Super Radio. Go Go!
Oh yeah, welcome to spring in Cleveland. 80 degrees day before yesterday, 30 yesterday. I mean, come on. Yeah, well, just be glad we're not in Minneapolis where they had 9 inches of snow yesterday. The George Baker selection, Little Green Bag on WIXY. Skip and Flip with Chip. Hey, that rhymes. Oh, I'm so clever. Yeah, right. 421 at WIXY 1260. This is Joe South. And why don't you just walk a mile in my sneakers? Or wait a minute, clogs. The late Bobby V, Robert Thomas Verleen, and Rubber Ball on You know, I've been on so many radio, I actually have been on like 40 different radio stations in my career, but my career lasted for 55 years. It's Boston's Aerosmith on Cleveland's WIXY1260 online.
Rock me, baby, all night long.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to former WIXY1260 disc jockey Chip Hobart.
WIXY Cleveland.
WIXY1260 online with Chip Hobart back here in the chair. And I probably did 12 or 13, maybe 14 years of oldies radio, and this is the best oldies station that I have ever worked for or with. And in the end, all we are is dust. Dust in the wind, my friends. Kansas. WIXY1260 online with Chip Hobart. I was here back in 1971. Didn't spend long here because I got myself back to Boston, but oh, how happy I am to be back in the rock and roll city. Came in for the induction ceremony last night. Congrats to everybody in the Moody Blues. Yoo-hoo!
Magic memories.
WIXY Radio.
When they were inducted last night, they were able to do 4 songs, and this is what they started out with, the Moody Blues on WIXY1260 online.
In the weird, weird world on WIXY1260 Super Radio.
Almost 4:45, and Ray, I'm having so much darn fun.
I knew you would.
Oh man, I want to stay here all day. Can I be on till midnight?
We'll talk about it.
Shocking Blue. This is Venus on WIXY1260 online with Chipper. You can call me Chuck if you want. WIXY1260 online. This is Chip Hobart having so much fun. And these guys, first white group to ever be signed by Motown Records, Detroit City's Rare Earth, and the old Temps tune. Get ready. I'm Chip Hobart. How you doing?
WIXY1260 online, playing the soundtrack to your life, 24 hours a day, 100 proof, aged in soul, and somebody's been sleeping. This is Rockin' Ray King at 4:54 on a Sunday afternoon with special guest DJ Chip Hobart. Chip, you've been in this business for a long, long time. Who are some of the major artists that you introduced on stage during your career?
Well, Captain Midnight, I got to tell you, and incidentally, thank you so much for inviting me here to WIXY1260 online.
Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. I've probably been to at least 500 concerts, and I've been up on stage to bring on Bon Jovi probably 20 times. They used to joke about Chip being the opening act for Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's funny.
It is totally ridiculous. But I mean, I've been up on stage when I was with the Loop in Chicago for the Rolling Stones, and then I've introed Kansas, Jethro Tull. But I mean, 500 concerts over 55 years. That's how long I've been at radio.
That is nothing less than amazing, Chip.
That's only a couple of years less than you, Ray.
Thank you.
No problemo. Let's go to 1966 and the Seeds and Pushing Too Hard on WIXY1260 online. Rock and roll, babies. Yeah, I'm a girl watcher. That's spelled divorcee. It is WIXY1260 online with Chip Hobart having the time of my life here on the air.
Good times, great oldies.
Freddie Boom Boom Cannon from Massachusetts, Palisades Park.
Last night I took a walk and
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to former WIXY1260 disc jockey Chip Hobart on WIXY1260 online.
Oh, what a great pleasure it is to be back here at WIXY1260 online. Couple minutes after 5 o'clock. Back when Ringo and Paul were having kind of a tiff. This one's for Paul. Chip getting my kicks on Route 66, and Paul Revere and the Raiders coming right up on WIXY1260.
Paul Revere and the Raiders on WIXY 1260 online. This is Rockin' Ray King with our special guest DJ, Chip Hobart, who was on WIXY back in 1971. Looking outside, we have got 43 degrees in the CLE with rain, going down to 48 tonight. That makes sense, right? Then Monday, rain and snow showers, high of only 48. What can I say? It's Cleveland, folks. Chip Hobart, you were on WIXY back in 1971, coming in town from the Big 8 CKLW. Where else in broadcasting have you worked? What stations and what city?
Well, I started off at a 1,000-watt daytime. Well, it wasn't a daytime. It was 1,000 watts days and 250 watts night. And if you could be within maybe 5 miles of the tower, you could hear it. And that was about,
That's a big deal.
It was a total big deal. But I mean, they were number one in the ratings, but that was like mostly cows that were listening to it. Jeez. So anyway, I started out at WDOT in Burlington, Vermont, then worked at WDEV and WJOI in Vermont and WVMT in Vermont. Then I went to Boston, Milwaukee to WOKY, CKLW in Detroit with my good friend Steve Hunter, WIXY1260 in Cleveland, then back to Boston, and then pretty much all over the country. Spent 7 years in Chicago and 3 years in New York City. And it's, well, like the Grateful Dead said, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Absolutely. Well, you were in some major markets. Now, when you left Cleveland...
Yeah, I've been to all the major markets.
Right.
Shaw's, Stop and Shop, Grand Union.
You were talking to Eric Rapp a lot lately, or what?
I think probably too much.
Probably. Now, when you left here, when you left Cleveland, you went back to Boston to WRKO, right?
Yeah. Well, I figured I love Cleveland. I love WIXY 1260 and Chuck Dunaway and Marge Bush and all the great people there, Mike Ranieri. But I wanted to be closer to my family in Vermont. And Boston, was 200 miles from my home in Burlington, Vermont. And, of course, Cleveland, about 500 miles. So I figured I'd better make it back to Boston.
There you go. And the station you went to, WRKO, 50,000 watt, clear channel, New England, and Drake radio, Drake format.
Oh, I loved it there. And my PD there, this guy named Mel Phillips, was a good friend who actually stole me away from WIXY 1260. Sorry, Chuck Dunaway. I had to move back to Boston. But, I just want to say thank you to all the great people here at WIXY 1260 for inviting me. I came in for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and later I'll be playing some Dire Straits. Of course, Mark Knopfler being ill, he couldn't make it, so they didn't perform. But a great performance from the Moody Blues and the Cars and Bon Jovi. It was just really a great time. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is such a fantastic place, and I'd never been there before.
Better late than never.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, it's one of the reasons why I'm here at WIXY 1260.
There you go. Got to give a shout out to one of your fellow CKLW alum, Charlie O'Brien. Should be tuned today from Canada. Charlie, hope you're enjoying what you're hearing.
WIXY 1260 Sunday Radio.
Lou Christie, I'm gonna make you mine on WIXY 1260 online. I'm Chip Hobart. I love ya. WIXY 1260 online with Chip Hobart from CKLW in Detroit, where they actually call me Chuck. The PD thought that Chip was a light name. I said, well, I've been Chip since I was like 11 years old. Well, if you want to work here, kid, you're going to be Chuck Hobart. I said, well, whatever.
Great music in stereo.
For my oldest fan, who found me on WRKO in Boston in about 1972, Bill Horseman in Lynn, Massachusetts, this one's for you, brother. Eric Burden and the Animals, one of your favorites. WIXY 1260 online with Chip Hobart, fresh in from Vermont, and I want to thank my daughter Lindsay once again for doing most of the driving. And I've seen the Moody Blues not only last night at their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I love. I've got to come back here soon, do more shows on WIXY, and go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I've seen both the Moody Blues and Emerson, Lake and Palmer with a complete orchestra, and that was one of the true great experiences of my life. And this is Carnival number 9.
Friends to the show that never WIXY Weekend Jam.
The Doors, Break On Through.
Rock me, baby, all night long.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to former WIXY1260 disc jockey Chip Hobart.
WIXY Cleveland.
5:30 in the Rock and Roll City. Man, I've only got a half hour left. I can't believe it. I want to stay longer. WIXY1260 online. Every year back in Vermont, I do a car show with my DJ service, which I call A to Z. I don't know why. But anyway, it just seems like if I had that listed in the phone book, it would be, phone book. Who the hell uses a phone book anymore? But anyway, A to Z. But I do a car show every year called the Better Late Than Never Car Show. And the Beach Boys have probably recorded more great car songs than anybody else in history. So, boy, I love those Beach Boys. And I loved my friend Chuck Dunaway, who was our great program director at WIXY1260.
WIXY Classics.
Be there for all the WIXY fun. Find yourself a little round Easter egg. Win yourself a prize. Here's how.
WIXY plays more music.
Oh, I'm telling you, Chuck Dunaway, one of my favorite people of all time. He was probably behind Mel Phillips, my PD at RKO, is probably my favorite program director of all time. God love you, Chuck Dunaway. Here's CSNNY. Oh, man, what a great song from a great, great artist. My request on WIXY1260 online. Chip Hobart wishing I could stay longer. It's 5:40. Here's Gene Pitney.
More music and a better variety.
Well, this is Foreigner on WIXY1260 online with Chip Hobart at 5:43. WIXY1260 online. What a classic song that you're only going to hear on WIXY1260 online. And will you be staying after Sunday from the Peppermint Rainbow? Well, unfortunately, Chip Hobart and Lindsay Hobart are going to be driving back to Vermont, 550 miles away. So we'll be leaving tomorrow morning. So technically, we will be staying after Sunday. I remember those jingles from when I worked at WIXY in the summer, fall of 1971. I'm Chip Hobart with Chuck Hobart at CKLW. 5:50. I've only got 10 minutes left. This can't be true. I've been having so much fun.
Goes fast.
WIXY1260. It's the weekend.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Major Land's one of my favorite songs.
It is 5:57 on a Sunday afternoon. This is Rockin' Ray King, and I want to thank our special guest DJ for today, Chip Hobart, who was on the original WIXY1260, for giving us 3 hours of his weekend. Chip, it has been an honor and a pleasure, and I thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Ray. It was so great to be here. And like I said, WIXY1260 online plays all my favorite songs. And I figured the best way to go out would be with this one from Supertramp. And Goodbye, Stranger. Love you. Peace out.
Thank you, Chip.
It was an early morning yesterday. I was up before